With the weather working in its favor, the Coakley Middle School construction has been rolling. Jack McCarthy meets up with Bethany and Luke for NCM's monthly construction update.
Welcome back. Joining me, as usual, for the Coakley Middle School update construction is Bethany King from WT Rich. And what's been going on since we last met?
A lot. Honestly, we've poured some slabs, so the concrete slabs we were talking about last time. We're doing a lot of underground. So right now we're sitting on the first floor of Zone C, and you can see we've backfilled, and what you see here is some Stego, which is your air vapor barrier below that slab. So in a couple weeks we'll be pouring that. MEP groups are here. They're starting their rough in, and we also are starting to remove some of the tarps and put permanent framing and sheathing in place, so the roofers will be here shortly.
And one of the cool things about having it, I wouldn't say it's not buttoned up, but there's enough so that even though it's cold outside, it's comfortable in here.
Yep, that's the goal. We've been fighting it. It's the middle of winter, and there's a lot of activities we do that need that heat. So fireproofing and concrete both have a minimum temperature of 40 degrees. So we have some temporary heaters here, and that's why you see that building wrapped, so we can trap the heat in as much as we can.
Now, is the entire building wrapped now?
They're wrapping A as we speak, and we're starting to take C down. So at some point, most of it will be wrapped. Yep.
And so when do you don't need it after you pour the floors, or am I wrong?
We'll need some heat in here. Yep, we'll have to fireproof again in some of the decks. They'll need it. And then some of the MEPs, like to seal the ductwork, certain things like that will need heat. But by that point, we'll have the roof on and some sheathing up, so it'll trap heat much better.
Any issues?
You're going to jinx us.
I know, sorry. We'll forget that question. We'll move on.
No, knock on wood, everything has been going according to plan. We are still trying to we are a little ahead of schedule, or progressing positively after the steel. So we're just trying to pull everyone forward and keep that pace.
And so, we saw some framing was that on the third floor?
Yeah, third and fourth, they're starting framing now, yep.
So what does that entail, and what are we looking at?
So they're framing the exterior walls. So the framing's going up now, sheathing's coming next week. They need that framing in place so they can start roofing. And then we need the roof in place to be temp or permanent tight in here. So that's what they're actively doing now. The outside of the sheathing that you'll see, that board, eventually you have a mix of brick, some split face CMUs, some fiber cement panels, some metal wall panels, some storefronts, some curtain wall. Your whole exterior wall is that system. That's coming in March.
And so we saw, when we were upstairs, we saw some of the steel that had different color on it. Was that the fireproof?
That's fireproofing, exactly.
What's that entail? And
it's
every
a mess.
piece of steel fireproof?
No, every piece of steel does not get fireproofed. It's a pretty messy operation. It's a cementitious material, and yeah, the various steel pieces, most steel pieces, and then some underside of decks get sprayed as well. We have a whole plan of what gets sprayed and what doesn't, but some of the areas you see up there that got sprayed now is the perimeter of the steel, because when we put the framing past it, we're going to block our own access. So they came and sprayed that first so we can run the framing by them.
And what was that word, the adjective you used for material, with an S?
Cementitious.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Real adjustment here. Officially, I think it is basically just like a fibrous-based product. I don't know. I guess if you quiz me and Google that, I think it's right.
It's either that or something else.
Or something else, right? It's paper-based, basically. They spray it on.
Anything else that happened that we haven't talked about?
A lot of things we probably haven't talked about. We're moving good.
These
are the big milestones, yep.
All right, so we'll be back with Luke Arpone to see what's next. And we're back with Luke, as promised, Luke Arpone from Vertex. And Luke, what's on the agenda? What's coming up?
Sure, so as Bethany mentioned, they've started to frame the exterior wall up on the fourth floor in Area C. That'll allow the roofing to begin installation next week or so. And then falling down, working top down through the building, the mechanical contractors, electrical, plumbing are installing their rough conduit, electrical hangers, and anything they can on the upper floors. Ductwork has started to be installed. Behind me you can see wrapped in that tarp over there some scaffolding. They're going to begin installing the CMU block for the elevator shafts, and then they're also installing the permanent staircases. There's 4 permanent staircases in the building. One of them is in, and the second one is underway right now.
All right, so I'm going to have to do it, since you used the word that people don't understand, I'm going to have to ask you, what was that block again?
Sure, CMU, it's basically like the The cinder blocks that everybody's used to seeing, CMU blocks. Those
I thought it was one word, but it's CMU.
CMU.
Okay.
Yep. Concrete
Cylinder,
masonry
yeah.
unit.
There you go.
And those are going to be what will form the elevator shafts.
All right. So they both passed their test today, so that's good. Anything else we need to know?
No, we're hitting it hard. The next thing, the big thing will be get these slabs, slab on grades poured by the end of February in areas B and C.
How many people about?
40 to 50 when they're pouring. Concrete's a larger crew for those days. You get an extra 10 to 12 people on those days, but 40, 50, 60 on a given day.
Good. Okay. Well, thanks for being
Thank
with
you,
us.
Jack.
We'll see you both next month.
We'll do. Yep.
And that'll do it for here. And stay tuned for more digests.